because he's
Oh, yeah.
using to check and see if there's anybody on Zoom.
Yeah, we'll have to. I didn't rope him in. All
You
right.
want me to monitor?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind keeping an eye on that. So it looks like the stream is going.
Tubes.
Yeah, can you check that and just make sure it's streaming? Because everything on this end tells me it is, but I'd sure hate to go through this whole thing and find out it didn't do what it was supposed to.
Vicky, you should be getting your card. I dropped it in yesterday's mail.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Almost forgot again.
Hey, Patrick. I'm hoping you can give us an update on the Tri-Cities thing. The little Tri-Cities gathering in June.
Actually, not yet. We were supposed to have a meeting last night, and it got postponed to next week.
Oh, okay. Bummer. Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people are interested in getting out there, and it seems it's been kind of quiet on that front. But
The event's posted. It's been out there for a little over a month, and most of the stuff should be available out on the cache page or the City of Richmond website.
cool. Okay.
What? Now it's back.
And now it's okay. All right. So, Chris, is this thing streaming over on YouTube Country?
Yeah. That's mostly for you, honey.
You see it there?
Oh, sorry. I was muted. I've been talking and I thanked Annette for calling me honey, but nobody heard it.
Okay. So, is it streaming? Is the question I have for you. Can you see us? Are we there? Because it looks like it is. It said it's connecting, so...
Yes, I believe it is. Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, we've got pretty much everybody, I think, at this point.
Aaron.
Except Aaron. So we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Who just did the ding ding? Go ahead and... No, don't do it. So we're going to call this meeting to order. This is the March 16th, 2022 WSGA board meeting. We'll quickly go around the horn here and do a roll call. We'll start with Karen representing 48 North, or North 48, I should say.
Here.
And Vicky of the Supernauts representing Southwest Chapter.
Here.
And Mr. Jacob, who is representing the VP position.
Here.
Chris Umfenauer representing Puget Sound Chapter.
Here.
Jerry Martin representing the Inland Empire Chapter.
Here.
And Mr. Eugene representing the Cascadian Chapter. Gene.
He's muted.
Oh, you're muted, Gene.
There.
What was that? Oh, Gene. Can you hear us? You're muted, Gene.
He's muted. You know he's there.
All right. Well, I know he's there. I can see him. Moving on. Lori representing the secretary.
Yes.
And Annette representing the treasurer.
Here.
And Patrick representing South Central Chapter.
Here.
All right. So only person that we're missing here is Erin, who is representing the Olympic Peninsula. Hopefully she'll show up here. So we'll just show it on the record that she's absent at the moment, and she comes back in, we'll acknowledge that as we go forward. All right. Did I hear somebody say something? Okay. All right. Moving on. We're going to proceed down the list here for the agenda items, and that is the approval of the January minutes. I know Lori got those out. I took a look at those. Has everybody looked at those meetings? And do anybody have any questions, comments, concerns about those? If not, we need to Get a motion to approve those.
I motion to approve.
Okay, we need a second.
I second.
Okay, we'll go around the horn and we'll do our vote, starting with Karen, 48 North.
Approve.
Vicky,
Approve.
Jacob,
Approve.
Chris,
Approve.
Jerry,
Approve.
Jean. Was that approve? I think it was. Lori,
Approve.
Annette,
Approved.
and Patrick.
Abstain. I did not receive the minutes.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No.
Lori, can you toss those over to him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually going through email migration, moving email services over 360. It's possible that they may have got dropped somewhere.
I replied to the one that Chris sent it out with the agenda.
Okay.
All right.
But
I didn't do that either. So
Oh, geez. Okay.
do you want to send your email in the chat and I'll send them to you?
Oh, that'd be great. Okay. Well, at this point, the tally is definitely the ayes have it, so the minutes will be approved. Let's move forward to Annette's report on the treasurer's report. Well, we'll let Annette kind of kick that off. Nice work on that, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I just posted in the chat that
Oh.
I sent to all of you a notice of my email change address to my Gmail account.
Yep.
It's basically the same, Annette P. Bales, but it's at gmail.com because I get far less junk mail in that account and had just tremendous trouble with either it goes to spam or it gets in the midst of, anyway, I changed it to Gmail because I think that account will serve me a lot better.
Okay. Yeah, and I went ahead and made the change on this end.
Okay,
So
thank
have
you.
it. Yeah.
And that was the account that I used when I sent out the treasurer's report too. I hope that you got a chance to look over the report. It shows that we're still in good financial stead. During the first 2 full months of this year, we had taken in $1,294 for membership. And it was a little low on merchandise sales through February. But since then, March, I think, I don't know, is it the member coins or what that you've been selling a lot of? We've been, looks like having some merchandise sales out of the store.
Yeah, I think
Member coins have only been there since this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Jacob was working on those.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're still looking good. Let's see. You can see that I paid a renewal fee for Valley Cities, the original Geotour. So the renewal fee is $1,500 to get it through until I can get the new one launched. I got the approval letter on Tuesday from the Port of Seattle that we had received funding for the 2022 Valley Cities Geotour. So that's going to be coming up, and I'm still trying to get some more matching funds, but I think I'll get it. And I don't know, we did pay already. You can see the note down at the bottom. We didn't pay for it until March, but we paid Atomic Inc. $1,814.32 for the 20th anniversary T-shirts. So that's the only accounts payable that I knew of. If any of you chapter reps have spent any money, please send me what you need to be reimbursed. Jean is the only one that I've received invoice from and paid money to.
I'm going to be spending some money for apes. So
Oh, okay.
I'll be
Okay.
sending you. Where do the receipts go? To what address do they go to?
Please right now, send it to that Gmail account, because
Okay.
at times I even have trouble signing on to that treasurer.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just-
Yeah.
it's been a nightmare, and I've worked with WSGA on it, and it's just been a struggle for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well, yeah. The Gmail. Hopefully, you'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have too many issues with it, so hopefully you won't.
Yeah.
Um,
So, if you got any questions? I'm ready for them.
Yeah, dole them out. One thing I do want to note, I did. This is an item further down in the agenda, but it does. This sort of speaks to treasury related stuff. I did sign the Geotour contract with HQ
Yeah.
with Jeff. So at some point we're going to be getting an invoice from them
Yeah.
for that. So I just wanted to let you know that
Okay.
I just got the email from Jeff with all the list of things that we have to do for that.
Right.
But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there because that is finance related.
Okay.
And
And
that,
that-
well, go ahead, Jacob. Go ahead.
The only thing I wanted to make sure of, you said that Gene did get something out of his allotment, so we have that ready to go for this calendar year for any of the chapter reps that need to submit anything.
Yes.
Okay, because I know we mentioned that at last meeting,
Right.
as long as they have access to that.
Is
What do
there
you
a
mean?
cutoff for this year?
Pardon?
Like a cutoff date?
I'm sorry, you're cutting out.
Cutoff date.
Cutoff date. Well, they say,
Oh.
it says in the bylaws that if you don't submit by end of the year,
Yeah. that's-
used to be 12/31, but didn't we say we were going to do it by the fiscal year that we are in office?
I,
If that's the case, then it would be by March 31st.
that's what I think we talked about that last, what was it, January, I think it was.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. That's all.
Yeah.
So yes, I think that was because that made more sense.
Right.
So hopefully, I'm assuming that the Supernauts have got some big plans for events down the road.
Yeah. Well, we want to get our cookout for the summer plan, but we usually have to rent a place for that to make sure we have something. So we want to look into getting that possibly booked before the end of the year.
You know, I don't know how reservations are for picnic shelters and stuff, but I know they tend to, at least around here anyway, they tend to get booked up pretty dang quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I don't know how it is down there, but here it's kind of crazy.
Reach out to the local parks and rec person too and talk to them and let them know, because if you build that rapport with them, especially being part of WSGA and geocaching, a lot of times they sponsor that cost for you.
That's a good point. And I'm going to need to do a community celebration event one of these days soon, since I've been sitting on that for a while.
Me too.
Been kind of seeing it as a WSGA type of an event is what I was imagining it. So anyway, okay. So any other questions for Annette before I roll down to membership and we talk to Lori?
Do you need to approve that report?
No, don't need to approve it. Okay, well, let's roll into membership then. Lori, it seems like we've been getting some new memberships and renewals coming in. It seems.
Yeah. I'll make sure I'm unmuted here. So I was just updating them on my sheet here. January we had a total of 16, and I think it was 13 when last meeting, so we only got 3 more in January. February we got 17, And in March, we had 7 so far. However, in January, we had 26 expire, 12 in February, and 5 in March.
Wow.
I think it's going to people's junk mails. And I don't think people are seeing these notices.
It seems like some people are and others aren't. So again, I think it goes back to events and reminding people to.
Yeah, the other corresponding thing that I'm seeing when those emails are coming through for membership renewals, a lot of them are matching up with the distribution list of the coins that the chapter reps are giving out. I know when Gene got his member coin list back to me, it matched up with several orders that came through with people in Wenatchee and several memberships. And the same is true with Jerry, is a lot of times he's passing out the coins, and as soon as someone gets one, a week later, I have their membership renewal in the email. So I think the chapter reps are doing a lot more towards getting those people to renew, especially with handing out coins, than we're seeing anybody just noticing based on an email or anything else.
Yeah, and I think some of the sign up, I had 2 in my chapter try to sign up, and the sign up process for them was horrific. One guy started it in November and finally got it to go through in January. And then Kathy, I know Chris got pinged on that one, tried it, and then hers finally went through. So
yeah, I worked with Kathy on that.
So yeah, I think there's something in there.
It's bizarre. Well, some people will have issues with it and others don't. And then there was the 2 J's that paid me $100 for 4 years worth of membership because he just showed up at an event, the 222 event, and said, "Hey, I want to renew." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I can do that. It's kind of geared to do it online." But he just wanted to do it right there. So yeah, gave me $100. And I'm like, it's only 25 a year, right? And he goes, yeah. And I said, well, I don't have $75 on me. And then he's like, well, just make it 4 years then. I'm like, you sure you want to do that?
And then Chris pawns the $100 off on me.
And then, yes, I said, here, put it in the account.
We really need to bring back the auto renewals, though. But there's a lot of people who keep saying, that they expect to have that renewal. They don't want to have to go back because they just forget. They don't want to deal with it. It'd just be nice to have a way to let it renew.
And there was a reason why we went away from that.
Yeah.
And I want to say there was some sort of rule or law that came into effect about internet. I can't remember what it was. This was a couple of years ago, but I think we went away. I wish if Mitch was on here, I know he would know the reason. But I remember
it seemed like it had something to do with people that were outside the state.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I can't remember the whole. Maybe it was.
Well, there's your answer, Karen.
It was Californians. Because I think California had some kind of a law about auto renewals for stuff on the internet or something. I don't know, but there was some law that passed, and it was his suggestion that we do away with auto renewals so that we don't have to deal with the California legislation. And all you're thinking, well, that's California, but we have members like GSM times 2, for instance, who lives in California and is a WSGA member.
There were several coins that were shipped to California. So
so we've got members even down there. So it's like, yes, there's a convenience factor for auto renewal. I completely agree with that. But if it puts us in jeopardy of not following some sort of internet related law that maybe isn't in play in this state but in somewhere else, we probably don't want to put ourselves in trouble and potentially have issues with that. I think that we could maybe look at that sometime down the road and see if there's some sort of new plugin or something that we can use for that appease the California legislation. I don't know. That's definitely an internet question, and that's a webmaster question for sure, whether that goes to Jim or Mitch, but one of those guys. Okay. Anything else on membership?
We ended 2021 with 125 total signups, and so far this year we have 40 new signups.
Well, that's not bad. And there's more and more events happening, so now we have more opportunity to get some renewals and pitch the organization to people who are new cashers. That I was sitting next to that gal at your event, Lori. Cheats.
Yeah. Well, and I know that we have a potential another person going to sign up. I need to send him the contact or the how to sign up, and he wants to sign up, and he's asked me at 2 events, so
all right.
I gotta ping him with that information.
Well, I think it should be pretty straightforward the way the website's set up. I guess
It's an older gentleman.
Right. But what
I just need to give him the link.
No, I
Yeah.
get that, but what's interesting is that there are some people are having issues with it and others aren't. And it's not age related. What I personally think may have something to do with the browser of choice. And that could be part of the problem is there are maybe certain browsers that don't cooperate well with our membership side of our website. I don't know. I mean, I've never had a problem with it, and I use, Google, so who knows?
Thing I wanted to check in on with membership is if people are wanting to pay by cash or check, are we just getting that money like you said in your case, Chris? Does that get over to Annette and then we just log it on the back end of the website?
Yeah, so in the case of the 2Js, I was fiddling around with my iPhone and actually went in there and updated his membership, which is a royal pain to do on an iPhone. Instead of sitting down at the computer. But I went in there and updated his membership. And I think, Lori, you were able to catch that and saw that there was a change. And getting a badge out that has an expiration date of 2020, what was it, 26 or something?
26, yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
The only thing when you do that is it never shows that they paid. It shows them as a dollar fee because you go in there and you reset their renewal or their new expiration date.
I think you have to tick a box too that says they're paying or something.
But I haven't. It's still. Well, I've done that, and it's never showed that they've paid.
No.
So maybe I'm missing the box when I've done it.
Yeah, I don't. There's a space on there, and it's kind of. I think that allows you to. I think it opens up the box where you can put an expiration date, but you have to tick the box that they're a paying member first before the expiration date unghosts and allows you to put a date in there, if I remember right.
Well, you know what? I have the page open. Oh, look.
I don't know if I want to share that on the screen, but anyway, there's you can do it. It's not the smoothest. Obviously, having them go through the website, that's really the proper way to do it, just so that it captures that they've paid. We don't have to get funds to somebody who has access to our bank account so they can make the deposit. It's a lot more steps for us to get that membership taken care of, doing it sort of through the back door. But I'm not going to say no to somebody who wants to renew, especially if they want to renew for 4 years.
No, I don't see a box there that checks that they paid. It just says current level, expires, yes or no, and then you write the date. Date and time.
Yeah, there's a space in there.
Okay.
I know there is. But anyway,
Right. You and I will have to
I'll have to show that to you someday on here.
Okay.
Not when we're streaming live.
No.
I'm not going to bring that up and share the screen. So anyway, it is more of a pain. Just I know previous boards would tell people, no, you have to go through the website and that's that. But I'm of the opinion that if somebody wants to pay us to be a member and they're having issues with the website, I kind of feel like it's an option. We have knowledge. I have the ability to go backstage and fix it so that, they have membership. So it's just a few extra steps for us. So. Okay, so let's move on. Unless I'm assuming we're done with membership before
I'm done.
And there's nothing else from anybody on membership. Okay, the chapter rep check-in. Jerry, nice report of all the stuff going on over there. There's always something going on in your chapter. It seems like it's always active.
Yeah, we stay pretty busy. Myself and Jacob have each, on our own accounts, had some CETO events, so no issue with people getting the upcoming souvenir. So, and it's springtime here, so there'll be even more events.
Yeah, the outdoor stuff is going to start happening. The kind of go ahead.
I haven't heard anything official yet, but I've heard talk that Lisa and Cash Advance are planning a Geo challenge again for the summer.
Are they?
And they're looking at it being lab caches again.
Are they? Outstanding. Yeah, I was wondering about that. I don't sit in on the happy hour, so I don't. Mainly because I'm working, so I kind of miss it. But so yeah, that's great. I'm glad that they're keeping that going over there. It's a highlight. Cool. Well, thanks for your report. It was exciting to see all the activity. What's going on up in the north country there, Karen? You're muted though, Karen.
I too need to have a community celebration event. I have an idea I'm working on.
Yeah.
I officially got a reply back from the state parks that September 10th is fine.
Oh, good.
For Ape. There is a marathon that day, but they are out of the area before we even set up, so we'll be able to utilize the extra porta potties.
That's funny because it seems like in previous years we've had the same issue where there's somebody that's been running through the tunnel. I'm trying to remember when that was. It was a couple of years back, and it's like,
yeah.
And here we are having it almost a month later, and we're still running into the marathoners.
Those crazy marathon people.
It's okay. If they're going to pay for the porta potties, we'll let them.
Well, there you go.
So I have to send in some money to them, a small fee to them, and I need to get insurance, and I need to get deposits to Chris Mackey for the coin and swag stuff. And then once I get my act together with all that in the next couple days, I'll figure out who I'm going to reach out to for help.
Okay.
I have a whole list from Jesse of who likes to do what on that day, but I can't do it all myself. So if anyone's interested collectively helping with swag or anything, let me know.
I know I've got an ape person for you.
Okay.
And they mentioned it to me at the little meet and greet I did in Federal Way.
Okay.
And
they've
done it before, so yeah.
Okay.
And now I'm trying to remember who it was. Who was that?
That's super helpful.
I know. I'm trying to think if that was. I don't think it was. Was it Randy? No. Anyway, I'll get you.
At your will attends.
Yeah, I'll
attend it.
I will give back when you get to that point. I don't think you'll have problems, and Jay Carr will probably pitch in for the ape as he has in previous years. So I don't think volunteers. I don't think is going to be too big of a big issue.
No, volunteers on the day, I don't think I'm going to have a problem with, but just any, if anyone has any opinions on swag, like suggestions on items for swag, that would be helpful. Like anyone here at all. I have ideas, but I haven't, if anyone has something they want to they want to see.
I wish Mark was able to show up tonight because I'm sure he would.
Aaron, did you get as far as a theme for that at all?
It's a steampunk theme.
Okay, because I know I talked.
Oh, right. We had a whole conversation about that, didn't we?
Yeah. Okay, so that's what the theme is then?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I talked to Mark about it a little bit. He was just concerned about the coin, but is the coin handled already?
Yeah.
Okay, so he doesn't have to put anything out for that. One of the things over the summer that I had recommended was the reusable shopping bags. But I don't know if that's something that you would use for the swag bags there and people can put stuff in.
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
The stuff
We're
over
writing
the
that
summer,
down.
the stuff over the summer that people wanted to see was coffee mugs. Well, we'll have the t-shirts already from the summer. So that, I mean, unless you want, are you putting out a separate t-shirt for Ape? Okay.
Yeah.
We kind of do, especially if the volunteers get a little gift. In the form
Yeah,
of the
we'll
shirt.
still do like 3 different levels of swag like they have in the past, and volunteers will get a t-shirt. So I had wanted to do like bandanas because it's I would say a steampunk, like what is the word I'm looking for? Well, it doesn't matter right now, but I thought bandanas would be cool. I'm trying to find some because that's kind of like masks, but not a mask because no one really wants a mask.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of over that.
Yeah.
This is funny. This has turned into an ape update.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to take over the whole thing with ape, but that there's not a hell of most of the events that I go to seem to be in not my area. They're more in Seattle.
Well,
so yeah,
you'll have to work on that.
Well, I do have an event a month, but mine was in West Seattle this time, which is not my area.
It's all right. It was a good event.
Yeah, it was fun. So that's pretty much all I have.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for the check-in and the update on the ape as well. How about Vicky? What's going on over down your way?
We had the 222 event, just at our local park at 2:00 on a Tuesday, and had over 30 people, so that was pretty good.
There you go.
And we have a CETO coming up the 26th at the Captain William Clark Park over in Washougal. They seem to really need it, so that'll be the first of the CETOs.
What time is that?
What time do we say it is? I think it's 1. It's 1 to 3, I think.
That might be my opportunity to get down there and get you your coin.
That'd be cool. Come pick up some trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're doing that with Clark County.
Okay.
I have a contact over there now that we've sort of been working with to get the park cleanups going. So.
And you know what? As Patrick mentioned, you're building a nice little rapport with them. Might come in handy if you need a shelter.
I do have a question. It's been mentioned about adopting a park. What are has anybody in the WSGA, like any of the chapters, have they ever adopted like a park or a road? Is that something that any of them have done?
The Puget Sound chapter has adopted a road, a King County road, which unfortunately we've been wanting to do a CETO there for a while, but the county has basically shut down that program due to COVID, and I've been bugging them off and on every so many months to say, hey, what's going on? We'd love to get a work party together and blah. And they say, well, we'll get back with you when we have our new, COVID rules and regs figured out. So
there's no objection to us as a chapter adopting any kind of parks.
No, not at all. You can do that, whether it be adopt a road or if there's a park that you like to work with. Yeah.
Right. The thing that's being done here that I've been working on with the parks is just having more regular CETOs because it's an easy event to approve and it's outside. My recommendation is finding any representative you can with the parks and ask them how they approach that, because here it's a little bit different. But what's happening is their operations department can't keep up because they don't have their employees. And month by month, they're identifying a different area for us to go do a CETO every month. And
well, yeah, we've sort of are trying to do once a month, maybe on the busier months this summer, probably not. But they seem to have regular groups of people down here in Clark County who, you know, when we schedule it with her, she checks her calendar for all the other groups that are doing all these cleanups. And I don't know if it seems like more in the last like 2 years, maybe, that it just seems like a bit more people out and about. So we've had no problems, like, you know, figuring out, you know, she lets us know a list of the parks that's need. And then, you know, we check the calendar and we make sure that the, you know, the grabbers and everything that we pick up are all available. And it's been, you know, pretty good. We're going to try to do one a month as much as we can this summer.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
And there's, and oddly enough, there is a CETO challenge out there to attend one every month of the year.
Yep.
It's in Kent if you're ever at all interested in going to get it. So anyway, that helps fills the calendar. Cool. So anything else down your way? No? Okay,
No.
Let me check in with Patrick. What's going on the South Central?
Not a ton of stuff going on. We do have one CETO scheduled coming up here in Richland. Same location that was held in the fall. It's an area that tends to get a lot of traffic with all the Hanford workers and a lot of trash just from vehicles and stuff and whatnot going by out there. So same thing's going to happen. Head out there and do a same type of cleanup. We also do have, like you had asked about, the Tri-Cities event coming up. Same weekend that it normally is, coming up the end of June. The event is listed on geocaching.com, so you can go out there and look it up. The GC number, if anybody's interested, is GC9MR2X, and that's going to be held June 25th on that Saturday. I believe that for some people that are up in the Spokane area, somebody else is also scheduled, a geocacher up there is scheduled their wedding that weekend, so it's going to conflict for some of the people out of that area. So,
do you happen to know what the coin is going to be? Is that something you can share or mention?
It's actually still being finalized.
Okay.
So it has not been released. There's no public information on it yet.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm sure it'll be awesome, though. It always is. Okay. How about you, Mr. Gene?
Just had the 2222 event.
What you got? Anything else scheduled coming up down the road? CETOs or anything?
Nothing in the works yet.
Nothing in the works yet? Okay, cool. All right.
So, Gene, it looks like you've got a new cacher over there placing a whole lot of caches in your area. Or maybe he's not a new cacher, but he sure is placing caches.
Huh. And who is that, Annette? Just curious.
Oreo Cookie 2010.
Oh.
It's a gal, she's a manager of the Home Depot in Moses Lake.
Oh, cool. There's more caches over there for me to go visit.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, let's roll in here. I don't see Erin here, so I don't think we're going to see her. Lori, do you want to have any updates for the OP, since that's kind of your hood? I know you had held an event over there not too long ago.
You mean Monday?
Yeah. You know, it was a pie theme, as I recall.
Yeah. I and the WSGA hosted a 222 event in the mall. Caught a little attraction by the security officer. She was like, "What y'all doing here?" But she was real good about it. She was just curious why there was a group of people in the mall.
Because it's a mall.
I know.
Aren't people supposed
a
to?
A mall during COVID, and we're all gathered around. Black and Hawker is over here, and he hosts at least 2 events every month, and takes us to a different park in the northern part of Kitsap County. So he finds different parks and hosts an event at those parks, and they're actually pretty well attended from both sides of the water.
Well, with him being
regulars.
With him being a lackey, he seems to have a little bit of a lackey draw from the folks on the other side of the water. Seems to get them to come over.
So,
nice.
He has. So he's doing that twice a month, and then we have 4 events right now in March and April that are posted, that are upcoming. So. And one of them is a virtual, because she had received a virtual award. So she's hosting an event at the Undersea Museum, which is actually a really cool museum. And so she's hosting it there.
That would be Miss Disc Golf Birdie.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think she's doing her virtual there, but she may be changing her mind after our conversation on Monday. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yes, we were talking virtual caches because a number of us at that event actually have credits.
So we're having a pretty good attendance of people coming over here from the Seattle side, and so that's kind of cool.
And having a couple of lackeys over there doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, I think we have 3 over here that live on this side.
That's good. All right, well, we got the OP factored in here, which is fantastic. Thanks, everybody, for the check-in.
What about Chris?
Well, I guess I was almost going to forget him. All right, thank you for almost skipping him. All right, Chris, you're up to bat.
Hey, we've had a busy season over here with just a bunch of events, so there's a lot going on, a lot coming up. Cool Cow Cashers is doing their monthly CETO. Coming just this weekend, so there'll be a chance for people, at least in the South Sound area, to get their CETO badge. Of course, our other Chris here did the coin event recently to hand out the coins to the members, so that was nice up in Federal Way. So I'm gonna start getting on the let's do an event a month, even if it's just a small, quick morning event. So I'm gonna start jumping in on those.
Cool. Well, and you got, the melee of events that happen in and around Fremont. It's just it's ongoing up there, almost weekly. I think one of the lackeys have got a beer day event at the Fremont Brewery. I noticed. I was like, do you need a day for beer? I mean, anyway.
Apparently one a week.
I guess. I don't know. So anyway, there's something always going on anywhere near Fremont, it seems like, as the lackeys are putting on stuff left and right. And then I'm glad to see Kevin's getting back into his CETOs again. That's great. He was rocking those monthly, it seemed like, for a while. So looks like he's getting back into that, so that's nice.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad to see that's happening. All right, now we'll move on to Jacob, since Mark isn't with us today. We can talk merch a little bit.
Yeah, Mark sent me all of his notes.
I did see you got the coins up on the website.
First thing I want to there was an issue with shipping at first, but that got corrected. I had somebody test it again, and I think, Chris, was it you that got in the website and changed? I'm not sure what it was that got changed.
What I think it was, Well, because you have to have the dimensions of the item that you're going to sell and the weight. So you can put it on there, and if you put everything except that, then when somebody tries to check out,
I'm not talking about the shipping thing. That all got fixed, and I had somebody test that. That wasn't an issue.
Okay.
But whatever it got changed to, somebody went through and tested it again, and it completely disappeared. So I had to re-add it.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was down for however many days that was, simply because the website wouldn't let people buy it, basically.
Oh,
the
okay.
ship up, the order showed all the details. They got to the final part of the cart, and then it said that it couldn't process the order. So we can go over that later. I'm not sure exactly where that came up. Anyway, I know Patrick's on here. Patrick, I wanted to make sure the t-shirts could either get picked up, or I might be able to get them this Friday. Do you have any availability for those?
Yeah, I got to see if I can get over to get them actually picked up from Atomic.
Okay.
They have really short, odd hours. They close at like 4 o'clock most days and like 3 o'clock on Fridays.
Okay.
So
I'll try. Do you mind sending me your number and an email, or some better way to contact you?
Yeah.
I'll get back to you if Friday works out for me, which I think it might this week. But otherwise, if you can pick them up, they're ready and your name is on the account.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'll just put the phone number in the chat. Everybody should have it. If they don't, it's available out here for you.
Okay. You said get it in the chat. I'll get it from you in a minute.
Oh, there it is. I see it.
Oh, okay. Here, I'll write it down. Thanks.
Yep.
The next item was the member coins. So as far as the member coin distribution goes, my distribution list is sitting at about 90 right now out of about 200 to 210, what our numbers should be at. Everything out of state and international is done. It became an issue in Southwest because there's people that come up from Oregon, but I think we figured that out. And Vicky, did you only have 2 people that you sent me back that actually picked up coins from you?
Yeah, because a lot of our members from Oregon, a lot of them come up from Oregon, and so I wasn't even expecting them to have already gotten their coins. Luckily, they were honest and said they already got their coins. Otherwise, I would have been giving people double coins.
Okay. Do you want me to do the remainder of the distribution for your list, or are you still going to hand them out at events and try to get everybody?
I'd say maybe check.
We will run into some people.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with like waiting unless they really want their coin. I mean, I will probably run into a few of them. There's a lot on that list though that we don't see, so I can maybe give you a list of the people that
Talking about Cooley Mom message them.
Yeah, we have some members who already like reached out to us that couldn't come to our event, so I'd say we can.
By email, just send me the 2 that did pick them up, because I can't find them in our text messages. Send me those 2, and then a list of any that you want me to send out.
Okay.
And then I'll update your list, and I'll put the people you've given them to on the distribution list, and that'll clear you.
Okay.
I know Jerry's here in the Inland Empire. Those are done. I mailed out the last of them, resolved the other ones, and Jerry has enough to give the rest of the members that he's going to see in person. I wanted to check in with Gene. Gene, I got your list. I updated everything. The only one person we had a question about was that Taz Coog fan. Do you know of any other people that need coins? I can't see if Gene's muted or not. Hold on a second.
He's trying to unmute.
Oh, okay.
There he is.
There.
I just got some people that like to get coins, the membership coins that are just new members.
Okay, those can be purchased on the website, and I can send some out to you if we have supplies after this next round of sales. And if you want to sell them to anybody at your events, just make sure I'm aware of that.
Okay.
And you had the one person, was it Campfire RV or something about that? You emailed me that. Do you want me to send a message out to them asking if they would like to purchase?
You were talking about Bob and Carol Wright?
Yeah, TV Wildfire. Or,
right, yeah.
Is that
TV
right?
Wildfire, yeah.
What's the best way to reach them?
Probably an email.
Okay, I'll send them a message about either buying one from you or buying one from the website. So I wanted to clear that up. But as of right now, everybody that is supposed to be getting a member coin, you've either passed one out or I've shipped them.
Yeah,
so your list should.
I got one for Don Campbell that I haven't been in contact with yet, but I'll see him one of these days.
Okay, so your list is finalized. So that's all three of those chapters. So I don't have lists from Patrick and Lori and Chris. You guys are handling the chapters in that area. Are you guys going to get those back to me so I can distribute the rest for your area?
So for me, I think I have to look. Two of them told me I can hold on to them until we meet up, and one person wanted me to mail him his, but I can't find that email. So I need to just kind of look back through my list here and see who that was. But the rest of them just said, hold on to him. When we meet up, well, I can give it to him. So once I can find that email, I'll message that to you.
Okay. So as far as Olympic Peninsula is concerned, then there shouldn't be anybody that's in desperate need of one right now that's worried about getting one.
No, the only person is this gentleman from Shelton. And so, there we go. Scott Odell from Shelton said I could mail him his.
Okay. So, and I think I sent you 20 of them. Did you distribute?
No, you only sent me 10.
Did I send you 10?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have my list pulled up here, but if I sent you 10, did you distribute any of those that I'll need names back for the distribution?
Yeah, I'll message all those to you, who I gave them to.
Then the only other person is Chris. Do you have everything coming from your event for distribution?
I have what I'll do is I'll send you a list of the ones I've handed out so far. Like I said, I just handed off 2 more today. And it seems like every event I've gone to, I've been able to hand out 1 or 2 or a couple of them. The Federal Way, I dumped a bunch of them off. Ran into some folks down in Southwest Chapter, that's barely in Southwest Chapter, and handed those off. Surf was one, and can't remember that gal's name. But there was another one that live out in Rainier. That I was able to get her coin to her as well. So I have a list. I will get that to you. There's a lot on there, and just the ones I don't recognize, I'm going to definitely just say mail them.
Okay.
But there's quite a few I've knocked off the list. So what I'll do is I'll just send you the names that I have sent or have personally given coins to, and that might be the shorter list. And then the rest of them, they don't really attend events, and some of them I don't even know. So I'll get that to you.
Okay, because once I have that, and then any recommendations for ones that definitely need to be mailed out, I'll do that final distribution of them.
Yeah, there's going to be quite a few.
I have very few coins myself too in the stock of what we have left over.
Oh, okay.
Outside of what I would expect to distribute.
Okay.
So most of them are already out in the chapters. So that's the update as far as that's concerned. And I don't know, Karen, I sent you some, but were you having events where you could distribute them, or do you have any list for that?
I have distributed some at events. A couple people from Puget Sound came to my event, and I let Chris know that I gave them their coin. So I'm going to have another event probably in April. I already posted on Facebook that I'm going to have one to give out coins. I just haven't scheduled it yet.
Okay. And as long as I have an updated list, anytime we're getting emails coming through for people asking for their coin to be shipped out.
Okay, yeah, I haven't had any emails asking it to be shipped. Mostly people are just, I'm seeing them face to face.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just as long as I get a list.
Yeah.
I'll be able to send any of the other ones out. There was only one duplicate that I've identified so far, which was one member, I think from Puget Sound, that sent me an email requesting one because she didn't know she could get one at an event. And then I think she picked one up from Chris while hers was in transit.
Oh, okay.
So we have an email in there from her, and I'll discuss that with her at some point. But that should be the only duplicate issue right now.
You know who that is?
Bev Edminster.
Oh,
I think.
Yes.
Bev Lacey.
Yes. That's the one in Rainier that I gave the coin to.
And then I mailed one to her as well.
Gotcha.
So whether she wants to bring one back to somebody or purchase a second one, either way is fine.
I can reach out to her on that too.
So that should clear up everything as far as distribution. And I'm going to put another message on Facebook saying that we're going to go into some kind of final round of distribution based on what the chapter reps say, that we know that we need to send them to certain people, or we're waiting on other ones. And then people have another round of emails to respond in case they need theirs sooner than that. But at this point, it's not a very clear final distribution list, so there's not too much that I can do about it.
Yeah. Well, I can get you the names of the ones I've sent out, so that'll help. And then, then CNW, you can host an event or something and try to tout.
The coins will be there.
Yeah, this is your chance. We got coins if you're a premium member in 2021. We can get that to you.
So that should clear up everything with the member coins then.
Okay, cool.
Actually, the only other thing is they did get listed on the website. I'll continue to promote those. If you guys want to do any of the sales at the event, you can, and then use the website to run them with a credit card, because I know we talked about the no ship part, so that people could do event sales pickup. If you guys want to do that, let me know. Otherwise, the gold edition is the one that's listed on the website. I think I have about a dozen more orders for them, and we've already sold 5 or 6, so we might be down to less than 10 at this point. So do we know if we want to order more of the gold edition, or do we want to just sell the remainder of the silver ones through the summer for people that want additional coins?
That's a good question. I think I kind of want to see how these sell. People seem to be interested in them, and I guess if there's a big enough interest, then I can maybe see us going back and doing a small mint of them. I probably wouldn't want to do a whole bunch more, especially with the 2022 extravaganza for the WSGA that's coming up. That we're going to have a lot of coins and stuff that we're going to mint, whether it be with the ape, and with the Geotour, and all that. We probably want to keep a little bit of a close eye on our expenses, but let's just see what the interest is on that. I know there's been a lot of chatter about it. I've heard it at events. Oh, that's a great coin. Oh, I'd love to get one. I'm not a premium member. Blah. So there is talk about it. So let's see how these blow out of our store. If they really fly out, and it sounds like they're kind of moving in that direction.
After I distribute the ones that are in the queue for the website tonight, we should be at I think 8 or 9.
Wow,
I've had a lot of people ask about buying one if they weren't a member of WSGA in 2020.
Yeah,
And then we don't want to do anything with the silver ones until distribution is completely done. Otherwise, we're going to be short coins.
Yeah, I would say we leave those off the table. You know, we kind of want to make them somewhat special because they're members only coins. We cheapen that if we start throwing them up for sale.
Yeah.
Now, if we wait a year or so, you know, if we look at maybe next year or something, and take the unsold ones, then maybe it's okay. But so I don't know. Maybe
this will be specifically for the website because otherwise I won't have stock of a coin to put on there because the silver ones won't go on there unless they're a member store only item and we know that we're going to have extra.
Well, then maybe that's the way we go with the extra ones is we stick them, we tag them as member only. It goes into the member only store, and there's a way you can flag that so it doesn't show up in the main store menu. You have to go into the member store drop down menu there, and it'll show up in there. That would be a good way to take the extra ones and sell them to members. We'll just have to let them know that there is, you know, we sell them at a, you know, a nice price, you know, $15 or whatever. I think we were selling the gold ones, the member only ones at 15, if I remember right. So sell them 15, we recoup some costs. Then if somebody wants an extra coin or wants to buy one and they're a premium member, go for it.
And do we have any concern over non-members not being able to buy the gold edition at the higher price when they sell out? Because that's some of the orders as well right now is people paying $25 for the coin knowing that they're not going to get a silver one.
Yeah. Well, here's a thought.
Anybody can send me an email about that if there's any question about it. I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that's what's going on.
Do you think you can get a cost if we wanted to mint, say, another 75 or 100 of the gold?
Yeah, I already got it from Janae. It's about $5 a piece.
Really? Okay.
All the upfront costs are covered, but it's just a matter of how much we're going to pay for shipping and if she has a minimum run that we need to do the second time. So why don't I get a quote for another batch of 25, and then I'll email it out to everybody, and if you have questions about it, let me know.
Let's go. I mean, if we're gonna do it, let's do 50.
Yeah,
but we got to get the tracking codes too, though. There's that cost, but I'm sure that's factored in there somewhere because
that should be part of the cost that she quoted me.
Yeah, Oak should get those for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, check into that, Jacob. I think it's a good idea because then we can. I mean,
Jacob, I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're talking about a gold and a silver coin. Are you talking about the old one like this in here?
Yeah.
If the edge is silver, it's the regular member coin. If the edge is gold, it's website and events that will sell also to non-members. And then the copper one on the edge, that's for the board members.
Yeah, that's the volunteer.
Okay. So one thing I've ever seen is this one that's got the silver edge on it.
Yeah,
we've got two others. So, Gene, I'm going to be sending you a copper one. That's the one for yourself. And then if you want to be able to sell any to non-members, the gold one is the one that we would talk about that would be sold to non-members. So that would be the example of the TV wildfire people that you mentioned. I'd have to be able to sell them a gold one and do it on the web right now. So that's the difference.
All right.
That also brings up too amongst the board members. I know Vicky wanted one of each as a set. So is it going to be $15 for the member silver one and the gold website one, in addition to receiving the copper one as being a board member?
Yeah, I think we should discount it if they're a member. Why not?
So essentially, for a board member to get a full set, it's going to be $30 that we'll have to account for.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Okay, I'll figure that out. If any other board members want the other editions, let me know.
Yeah, send me the full set too.
Okay, Gene, I'll work with you on that too.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I was just going to show that on the website here if I can get this thing to come up here. I'll just sign in as president, I guess.
So I'll go to the next thing, which is the 20-year ape coin, but it sounds like Karen's already figured that out. That was an agenda item that Mark passed to me. So as long as we don't have to have any part of the merchandise involved in that right now, I won't worry about that.
Okay, here, I'll do a quick share screen here, just real quick so you guys can see. Here, this one right here. Okay, so there's the member store here. You guys have probably seen this.
Oh, there it is.
It's under membership, member store. If you click on that, it's going to show items. Well, right now it's only showing the, oh, wait a minute. Why is it not showing it? Oh, I know why. I need to sign in as myself here, and not, since the president's technically not a member, I guess. That didn't really work. Let's try it again. Okay, so there's the badge, but basically there would be the coin would be in here too, and it's not. So this is strictly the member store only. That's all it's in here. You can see the gold coin was there at one point. It's not anymore.
So Chris, that might have been the issue then, because nobody was able to navigate to that. So the way that was fixed, if you go to the store, the member coin is listed in the store, and if you're logged in as a member, it'll show 15 for the member discount.
Oh, there it goes.
And if you're not, it'll show 25.
Ah,
So
okay. There you go.
That was the way that got fixed. So that might explain how it was entered otherwise, where people couldn't find it.
All right.
So
well, there you go, because it's showing it as 15
yeah,
right
what
here.
You're seeing right here.
Yep. Awesome. All right, and there's all the little ape guys, the little ape pins, a whole rainbow of them there. Anyway, okay, cool. I'll stop sharing now. All right.
We need approval for a 20-year coin, which I know we've already got the design out for. That was approved. But do we have anyone that we're going to use? Are we just going to use oak coins again?
Yeah, this is where I kind of wish Mark was here, because I wanted to talk to him about the 20-year coin, because we had an idea of using basically the same design that's going on the t-shirts and making that a coin.
Okay, that was already approved.
Yeah.
And he already has a quote from oak coins for that.
He has a quote for it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have the so the artwork is basically this more or less the same?
It's a modified version of what's going to be on the t-shirt.
Okay.
That's what I've been told about it. I'll send out another email as soon as I get the final quote. But do we have approval for that expenditure?
I don't try and think if we voted on that.
Because we voted on the artwork, so the artwork's approved for it.
But did we have the cost and everything lined up for the coin?
I don't think so.
I don't remember seeing that.
And I'll have to get them from Janae, but do we know if we have a budget for them? Because that's something that needs to get in pretty much
pretty
right now.
quick.
Yeah.
I'm sure, I mean, these are going to be straight out for sale. We're not handing these out. So, I mean, it's money we're going to get back pretty much immediately as we sell them. And obviously we'll make a profit on those. It's not like it's the member coin that we're just giving out. So we'll have to do this, I think, unfortunately, email. But let's get some numbers together on that. And actually, we have to let's talk about yet another coin, and that's the Geotour Coins, which is down in the thing here, further in the agenda. But I had some ideas on how we would want to do the coins for that, which of course won't be there won't be profit generating, unfortunately. So why don't we do this? If you have anything, Jacob, from Mark on the actual cost, email that and we'll put it to a vote.
Okay. I just need to make sure that everyone knows that you're going to be getting that email, and we'll need to get it approved back by that. I know there's a quote out there. I don't know if it was sent to the whole board, and I wanted to have it tonight. But I know the budget would be nearly identical to what we spent for the last year's member coins. It should be the same number, same finishes, all that. I didn't know if we wanted to just approve a budget to keep that in there so that we don't have to wait until next month's meeting.
Well, do we have a ballpark?
While we talk about other business, I'll look it up.
So basically, we want a ballpark. We want a ballpark and how many coins.
Okay.
And I think we could run with that. And if we come in less than what we approve, fantastic.
The other thing Mark wanted to clear up is whether that's going to be used for the member coin for 2022. Because I would think that would be understandable, because I don't think we're going to be able to produce yet another coin inside the
yeah, this is where I think we probably want to do some different coloring to distinguish just our anniversary coin versus our 2022 premium member coin.
If I look at the quote again, it should clear that up, because it should be the same kind of finishes that we're using for this last year's coin, and it'll be set up the same way, where each of the editions means something different, whether you're a member or you bought one at an event or on the website, or the board member has a different one as well. So are we okay with doing that same thing again, and then just handing them out over the summer at the 20th anniversary if somebody's already a member and that's going to be their annual member coin?
Well, yeah. I think we could do that. I don't see why not, especially with us having, because we're going to have a 20th celebration event in September. That's already, we have to do it in September. That's when the organization turns 20. So it's going to have to be after the APE event. So it'll be past the 10th of September. So anytime after that. So yeah, and I think that'd be a great opportunity to hand out coins to members. And if it's going to be anything like the 10-year anniversary event we did back in 2012, we'll have a huge attendance at it. I'm sure of it. And we'll be able to clear a bunch of coins and hand them out to members. In fact, we could probably even set up a table at the event just to hand them out. So, yeah, we'll do the same thing, I'm thinking, with the coins. Just make it a different color.
Okay. I'll go over that with Mark then. Get that. I would say it'll be about the same, because we would order about 300 for the members. And then the only difference is the event and the website sales one would have to be much higher than the 20 we have for this year's coin. It'll have to be 100 or 200 if we expect to take those to an event.
Yeah.
So that should change the quote if everyone's going to expect that around $4,000.
I think that's.
I'll get the exact number though.
Okay.
I'm looking through it and remembering if that's something that we had a full quote on or not.
No, we were talking about the 2022 coins and the premium member coin and all that, because we wanted to keep the theme of 22 of 20 in 2022. And Mark did a really nice job with the Roots coin, the Roots image, which I thought was pretty cool. So yeah, we can get this all together and get the vote out via email. Again, wish Mark was here, but that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going over most of that, and I found part of it. It's 4 different editions: members, event, board, and then website for $450 total.
Okay.
So would we be able to get 450 of them and then try to get the quote under $4,000?
You think that's doable?
Enough to approve? I think so, based on what we got for the member coins.
Well, I mean, these are pretty good sized coins.
Yeah, I'm trying to find any exact price here, and I don't know if I have it.
I mean, these are big compared to what our usual member coins are. This is a pretty good size one, and I thought that wasn't a bad price for them.
I would think that 20th anniversary coin, doesn't it use less colors on the coin than the current or the 21 membership coin?
That could be part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, this one did have a lot of colors on it.
Yeah.
I know there's an additional requirement to do some kind of transparent enamel, but that should be the only difference.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be from a color standpoint. It should be a lot less color put into that coin compared to the car. I mean, the car was great. When I showed it, when I gave Brian Roth his coin today, he's like, "Oh, I really like how the geocaching colors were implemented in the top of the coin." I said, "Yeah, Mark was really key on that."
So anyway, my question there still though is if I can get back to Janae, the price is under $4,000. We're getting 450 of them, and then the members will take the first 150 of the one edition that's meant for just members as their 2022 coin. Do we have approval just to do it that way?
Well, I think we should submit it to a vote right here.
Okay. So I'll put it to a vote for everyone. That's the 20th anniversary coin for this summer with those details that we're discussing now to keep the budget under 4,000. And I'll put the exact quote out from Janae. I could hope to get that in a week or two. But if the budget comes in under 4,000, do we have approval to do that?
Okay, well, I think there's the vote. So we're talking the 2022 coin. So that's the motion sitting on the floor right now from Jacob. We need a second, and we can go right through this. I think Gene waved the finger there as a second. A second. Okay, well, let's go through it. So we're talking 450 coins, budget of 4K for the 2022 member coin. Yes. And
I'm presuming that we're going to split the cost between what we would have for a membership coin and the 20th anniversary, right? Since the cost is for both of those, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it'll all be in there because what we would be approving then is the one color that's specific to members. Those would go to the whole membership this year as their member coin.
Right.
So we would be using part of what we discussed before is about $10 from each member to pay for the member side of that coin as well.
Okay.
So if you consider that might take out $1,500 to $2,000 worth of the cost is actually coming from membership costs as well.
Right. Right.
But then we're going to sell the others and recoup.
Instead of just pure sales for the rest of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we got a second. We'll just go around the room, starting with Karen, who's up in the upper left-hand corner of the Brady Bunch grid. Lucky you. What is your vote, Karen?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Here's the story.
Go there. All right. Vicky.
Approve.
Jacob.
Approve.
Gene.
Approve.
Miss Annette.
Approve.
Chris Offenauer.
Approve.
Lori.
Approved.
Jerry.
Approve.
And Patrick.
Approved.
Okay. Well,
Chris has been listening to too many.
Okay. So like I said, if it's approved, I'll just get out a quote within a week or two because I'll get the exact itemized part of that from Janae, so everyone knows that what we're spending on that.
Okay.
As long as that's the approval, and if I have to adjust the numbers down to keep it under budget, it won't be hardly anything at all, and then we can just reorder any of those coins if we sell
if we
out.
need to. Yeah. Okay.
Because the one thing that could be affected there is the number of website edition ones that we get, and that wouldn't be a big deal.
Okay. No, that sounds good. I think.
Okay.
I think it's great.
So that left the big questions there that Mark wanted to get out of the way. The only additional swag item for that event that I wanted to bring up was a budget for a reusable shopping bag. It would be the same exact design. It should be a single color with the trees and everything the artwork that's already been approved on a reusable shopping bag. And I know that's a big thing now because all the plastic bags are banned.
Yeah.
Or costing extra money. So is it reasonable enough to just approve a budget for that? I know we have a certain dollar amount where we have to get a vote.
Well, what do you think? Well, have you got any costs, ideas, or anything on that?
I haven't yet. I'd expect them. I looked at them at Staples, and Staples does them in their high quantities, which I believe is 1,000 or more for around $1. But I'd like to get not nearly that many of them because at the event I don't think we're going to sell that many. But if we can get a budget for $500 spent on it, would we want to just see what the quote looks like for how many we can get? I'd expect about 200 or 300 of them.
That's a pretty good number. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, could we put those as part of the package and that's what their merchandise comes in? Or are you thinking something separate for the APE event? Or am I just totally off topic?
It wouldn't be a swag bag thing. So
Okay.
it wouldn't be like the plastic bags that I have from the merchandise sales stuff in the past that have our logo. It'd be a grocery bag, fabric
Just a separate
bag.
item. Okay.
Yeah. Unless what you're saying is the people that order ahead of time for pickup at that event, if we wanted to include one as a complimentary item, I guess that would make sense too. But
Or
this
part
would
of
be
the package, yeah.
this would be something. My recommendation is we sell them for $2. We sell them for $3 or 2 for $5, somewhere thereabouts for the price. And if you guys see these in the grocery store, they're the same ones that are selling for about $2 with the store logo on them.
Yeah, I think that's not a. I think it's a great idea. I don't think we've had these before. I don't think we have. We've had the plastic bags that we would give stuff out that have the WSGA logo on them, but not what you're talking about.
I still have plenty of those for people that are going to pick up coins and things like that at events. But yeah, there's a clear distinction here is that this would be something like you buy in the grocery store.
Yeah, those are much more durable and canvas or what they're made out of. But okay, so do you have a working budget you're thinking on this?
I'm just going to say $500. I'd expect to get 200 or 300 of them. And the artwork would already be done because they can use the vector art that Mark's already provided for the t-shirt. And it literally would just be matching to what the t-shirt is.
Yeah.
And my guess is that probably something that we order either in like blue or green. And then I can put the design out in an email. I just want to save us from having to do another vote 2 months from now, going closer to that event.
Yeah. I think that's let's go ahead and take this motion then. So
what was the dollar value on that again? You thought for how much?
I'd like to do a budget of $500, and I can send you guys the number that we're going to get. I'd expect it to be around 200 or 300. It could even be more than that at that price.
All right. Well, I think we've got a motion on the floor for $500 for reusable totes with the 2020 logo on it, with the trees that we've all seen, that Jacob's thrown out on the floor. So what we're looking for here is a second on that.
I'll second.
Okay. Well, let's go around and we'll do the voting. We'll again start with Karen.
I'm voting yes.
Okay. And Vicky?
Approve.
Jacob?
Approve.
Gene,
Approve.
Annette,
Approve.
Chris,
Approve.
Lori,
Approved.
Jerry,
Approve.
and Patrick.
Approve.
Okay. Another unanimous vote. Outstanding.
Thanks for getting that through here. I know that's something that's going to be important for Mark, and he can help me do a lot of the work there. I just wanted to get approval for it. And I guess the way I'd rather have it set up is almost have it be a comment period. If anyone wants to get back to me in an email within about 2 weeks of when I send out what the quote looks like, what the artwork looks like, and what the final numbers are. I'd rather have the budget approved, even though we don't have the exact details for it.
For something like that, I mean.
Yeah. So we'll have 2 weeks of comment before Annette pays for it and we order them, I guess.
Yeah.
The way I'd like to describe it, just so we don't have a hang up like we did on the t-shirts.
Yeah.
T-shirts were like a 3-meeting process. I don't want to have to delay this for one more meeting.
Yeah. No, good point. Okay, anything else on the merch?
The only thing I was going to suggest is a promotion with the 8 pins on the Facebook page going forward to the APE event. And I can work with Karen on fitting that to a theme and where we put them out. But basically do the same setup as Snag the Tag and put them across the state somehow. I can send them out to the other board members to go hide, and we'll list them on Facebook, because those things aren't selling at all at this point. And I'd rather promote the event in September than try to keep getting people interested in buying them.
Well, I'm sure they will sell at the event.
That's true too. They will.
I mean, people will buy them, especially if we package them up as a set, which is the way to go. I mean, it's always good to do them individually, but I think there are people that will want the whole set. And there's quite a few, as I was showing earlier. So we'll have those available definitely for the event. That's an interesting idea to I hadn't even thought about that. If we could put them out there.
It'd be the same. I'll discuss it with Mark to make sure he's all right with it. It'll be identical to what he does with the Snag the Tag, except you're not getting a tag that has a redeemable code. You're simply going after something that we listed on Facebook, which I know we've done with something similar to Spot the Ape in the past.
Yeah.
By listing them on Facebook. And that'll just get people more interested in them.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what he says about that. I think that could be kind of an interesting game, because I think people will jump on that.
So I just let people know that. I'll send an email out on that too if I get something I can post on Facebook.
Okay, cool.
Hopefully in a month or two.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what he has to say on that.
That should be everything for me about merchandise, unless anybody has questions.
Yeah, we'll throw that out to everybody. Does anybody got any questions or comments for Mr. Jacob there? Ooh.
I sent Jacob a link in the chat for a site that works. They do really good bags, grocery bags and stuff. So.
Oh, customgrocerybags.com. Yeah, there you go. Check that out there, Jacob.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
All right. Well, now we get into the old business. And obviously the top item here is the election, so we should definitely talk about that. Which is back into your neck of the woods there, Jacob.
Yep, I'll start going over that as well. That was something that we had to put an announcement out and talk about at the January meeting, and I know that's in the minutes. Mm-hmm. So we've accomplished that part of it. The other thing was to have some kind of election or nomination committee. Obviously, I would head that as the VP. I had one other person locally come forward that was going to help with that. She wasn't able to help me identify anybody else. She's a past treasurer for the WSGA. Her name's Elaine. And if there was anything for us to verify, I'd have her do the same. But we don't really have anything to verify in this case. I know Jean brought it up, whether we were going to have a vote or not. Looking through the bylaws, all I can see it being is a vote of acclamation, because we don't even have each one of the spots filled. And as far as I can tell from talking to the chapter reps and from the other board members, we don't have a race in any position.
Yeah, which is fairly common.
Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, the only thing that didn't happen is I had no ability to send out a mass email to everybody that is a member. We can follow up with that if anyone has a way they want to do that. Mark's recommendation was he did something like constant contact for something similar to that. I can do it as an email, but at this point, I don't see the point in doing that as close to April as we are. And if nobody came forward to any of the chapter reps, I think we had an opportunity to do that at the 2/22/22 event. And I know I sent an email out about a week or two ahead of that to let you guys know, ask anybody if they're interested. And it doesn't seem like we got any interest.
Yeah. Don't think we did. At least I'm not aware of any.
So the biggest thing that we have to decide as far as the elections go, if I'm going to announce it on Facebook or try to send an email out, is who is in what position. Because I know some of the chapter reps went up for either stepping away from the position, and I know Chris, you were going to fill Puget Sound, and Lori was going to fill Olympic Peninsula. So we just need to verify that that's the case and how that's going to work out.
Well, but then we also have the vacant positions, the non-chapter rep vacant positions.
That's the other issue on the board, is we haven't identified anybody for the board, so it's going to be a vote of acclamation for that as well.
So we're not going to have a secretary then, and essentially not have a president, because we cannot hold two positions at the same time.
Exactly.
So that doesn't really work. Now, I don't know. Don't really know how that would work. I mean, yes, some of these positions we have to have somebody in. We just can't roll without a vacant position.
Was a public announcement made to WSGA members anywhere on Facebook or mass email saying that positions were going to be opened up, that if you wanted to apply, to submit your applications?
Yeah, it was done on Facebook. I got the ability to log in about, I want to say it's the end of February, and that's when the post would have gone on there.
Okay, because it's obviously that I don't think our Facebook has the reach that we think it does, because I mean I never saw that post.
Yeah, I don't think it does either. It was inactive for however many months, could have even been a year. So that's why I say if we need to send out an email, we can.
There is a way we can do that, like was constant contact or which platform, but and Jesse probably has this information, and maybe someone else like Mitch or one of the webmasters might have that. But it seems to me there was a way to send ballots out email style. So I know there is a way to do it because we've done it in the past. I just don't know the ins and outs on that particular thing, and that's maybe a question for Mitch or Jesse, because I know she did it.
I know that you can highlight, like go and generate a report, and you can highlight all those active members, and just highlight the email section of it, copy, and then go to a email and paste them in there. I just do blind carbon copy, so you're not giving everybody else emails. And that's a kind of a quick way that I know of.
Yeah, that'd be the only way I would know how to do it as well.
Yeah, but when you do something like that, when you mass group email like that, and you're not using a relay server, then you're essentially going to tag that as being a mass marketing type email, and it's going to automatically flag for spam.
Yeah, that's basically like everything else that people are getting for their renewals and stuff. That's how it's ending up in spam. So that was Mark's suggestion. If it were done based on constant contact, it might be different, but I don't know how much that would change it.
Yeah.
Typically, when you use like a mailing service like that, like MailChimp or one of those, it sends individual emails to each person.
Yeah, that's exactly what it would be considered in this case. Everything.
That's what Constant Contact does too. It takes a mailing list and sends an individual email to each person.
Yeah.
The only other way that I can think about doing it, and that's exactly what Lori was saying, is if we want to use one of the WSGA email accounts, whether it's the president, vice president, whatever email we want it to come out of, we can do the same thing. But I don't know whether that account will be flagged as spam if the batch of the number of emails is that high, like you're saying it would be.
Yeah. There could be potential problems with that too. You may not, it may flood it to where it doesn't get them all out. No, I think our best bet's through the mass email programs out there, Constant Contact and others. And we have access to one of them. I've never used it, but I know, I'll have to ask Jessie. She knows. I just saw her on Saturday too.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get any more details about that. So it was posted, and I know people reach out, but that's where it got to. My suggestion at this point, and Chris, I can work with you on how to get that out, is that there be a 2-week window at this point towards the end of the month where it's basically a challenge period. If anybody wants one of those open positions or is wanting to step up in a chapter we haven't identified anyone for, that's basically what we leave it open as. Otherwise, we'll say it's a vote of acclamation based on this board meeting and that suggestion. And then on the 1st of April, we can make a post with everyone's name and position when we finalize
it. Yeah, which is what we would do, yeah.
Okay.
So Chris, Brew, did you reconsider staying on as president?
Well, if we can't get anybody to and if Jacob's not interested in stepping up, notice I'm sticking it back on Jacob. He's done such a great job what he's doing now.
I did have one person in the Inland Empire that was possibly interested in the secretary position, but that won't happen at this point. And I wouldn't mind doing it just to free up one more spot if there were 2 of us in this area to work on it, but just myself in this area, I don't think I can do it just myself.
Okay, well, yeah, so we're still going to have a hole to fill even if I stay on, which at this point, I'll stay on. Sorry, Umpenauer, you're stuck. That's all right. I'll help you.
You got a president thing to do.
Well, you've
holding events isn't a big deal.
A whole bunch of us that'll help you out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
that's true.
My question is there any reason why we couldn't list those positions as vacant? And then Chris and Lori take the responsibilities for those positions as much as possible. And then we have the ability to show people that if they want to step up throughout the year, we can put them in that position. I don't think anything in our bylaws saying that we can't fill a vacant position.
I don't see why not.
That might be a better way to advertise it, simply because if we list somebody's name in those spots, then nobody's going to challenge it.
Right.
But if we send out the email saying that currently we're looking for somebody or the position is vacant for Puget Sound, Olympic Peninsula, the president and the secretary position, if somebody comes up through the year that wants to do that we haven't identified at this point, we can essentially shuffle people around and that becomes a support role.
Yeah, I think I don't see a problem with that. So go ahead.
If you look at the bylaws, 6.3 basically lists the vice president will perform all duties of the president in the absence of the president. So you already have a bylaw that covers that.
Okay.
Well,
so the other thing is that as far as your positions, if you have a vacant position, it's up to the members to nominate somebody to run for that position. If we go through an election and we don't have that position filled, then somebody, from the board, they have to vote to fill that position or find somebody to fill that position.
Okay.
Well, to avoid this issue, I mean, I'll stay on. I mean, I don't want to see the organization not have somebody in this position. So that'll solve that problem. But secretary and or OP, and I know Lori is interested in being the OP chapter. So really, it's.
I mean, if no one steps up and takes the secretary, I'll stay on. But I'd rather somebody else take it over, but I will continue to do it.
And see, I wish we could wear dual hats here. But there's nothing to say that the secretary who happens to live in the OP chapter couldn't hold WSGA events.
Secretary does that quite a bit anyways. So.
Well, right. And there's nothing to say that any senior board members can't hold a WSGA event. Doesn't matter what your title is. Doesn't matter.
I like the way Patrick's looking at it, though, because if we leave that president spot as vacant, then, I mean, I can do as many of the tasks as possible with your help to say that it's being done. But then, because the bylaws say that I can complete all of that in your absence.
Yeah, but if he's willing to stay on, then I say we take him up on that.
Yeah, well, there's, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, Jacob.
You've got a bunch of things in the pipeline right now.
Right, exactly. And as much as I would like to help C&W out, because I know he's got family-related stuff going on and being in that position, it's chapter rep, and I've done it before, and I don't have a problem doing it again. The thing is, there's a lot going on. I mean, it's the 20th anniversary of this organization. We've got Geotours we're starting to launch. We've got a big ape event. We've got all this. It's a crazy time to have someone step into this position brand new that has never sat on this board and wouldn't know what to do.
That's true.
And essentially, Jacob, you'd be end up doing all the double the work anyway.
Yeah.
Even if we find somebody, it doesn't matter which side of the state they are. If someone steps up and says, "Yes, I'm interested in being in the president role," well, who's going to be handholding that person from the whole time? Exactly. Well, it's going to be you and the rest of the board. So
that's exactly where my position is at right now too. With Mark having a lot of involvement, I mean, I only have so much time to commit towards it.
Yeah.
So the merchandise was the obvious role to take on that.
Yeah.
And it's a very similar situation.
So to make things easy and hopefully we have a successful 2022, I'll stay on. And I, like I said, I wasn't leaving the board anyway. I was planning, and I figure I could still do some things from the chapter rep position. I mean, there's nothing to say I couldn't do the Geotour and put on the WSGA 20th anniversary event, which was going to likely be in the chapter anyway. So it'll just simplify things. So really, technically, we're only looking at one position.
Yeah.
And that makes life easy for all. So we'll just do that.
And Olympic Peninsula has been open before.
Okay.
You know, I think
So
Lori.
as far as the chapter reps are concerned, those can be open positions then.
Yeah, and the way that works is there's no representation. So ultimately, if there's no representation, there's no chapter money. They don't get a vote in the board. That's how you sell the idea of getting people in. Is if you don't, hey, there's no one there to represent you in the WSGA. So how would you like to step into this position and represent, your chapter? But that's what would happen is they would be essentially a, persona non grata type chapter. There'd be no one there. I mean, Jeff had mentioned to me before that he was interested once upon a time in the OP position again. He had been chapter rep before.
Your guru, Jeff?
Yeah, I haven't really.
He told me he's not interested anymore.
He's not interested anymore. Yeah.
I actually talked to Yellow 1971.
Yeah.
And I suggested it, and she's like, "Oh no, I have too much stuff going on." I'm like, "Okay."
Because they've been trying to sell their business, so I thought maybe that might open up some time.
Yeah, but they haven't sold it.
Yeah.
I was just up there at their auto shop not too long ago.
Yeah.
And they want to sell it, but they haven't got a buyer. So anyway.
You mentioned a couple people. The one I remember is Antoine, Wino, Seattle.
Yes, Wino, Seattle.
There.
So Wino's has reached out to me, and he wants to take over the outreach position, which is not it's a committee.
Role.
Yeah, it's right.
Okay.
And I've said, I think he'd be great at it. We need someone to do outreach, and we've already had at least one reach out from an organization right in Antoine's own backyard. So I turned him on to the Friends of the Lake Sammamish State Park group, and he's going to have a geocaching booth there at that event. I think it's in the summer. They do a big hosting an event there in the park, which is I've actually have done stuff there before for them. So
they want more geocaches in that park too.
There's there's been a few put out.
I have one there because Jesse's like, they want caches. You want to put one there? Like, that's kind of further away than I'd like, but sure.
Yeah, that state park is just totally gung ho on geocaching, which is great. And it's a big park. Yeah. I've got a Larigo in that park. So,
but they need a real geocacher hiding their caches for them instead of their geocachers. And the last time that they hid some, we had issues with them.
Yeah, they need. See, Antoine would be great because he lives in Issaquah. That's right.
Yeah,
it's right there. So anyway, and there's some other good connections with him being an employee of REI too. That's a nice connection for us. So anyway, as the elections go, Jacob, I think we post the one vacancy.
Olympic Peninsula, yeah. And Chris Umpenauer, I want you to know that I think there's a good many of people that you can reach out to, and you'll get the help you need.
And Chris, I'm more than willing to help. I mean, your region is right next to mine. I have no problem helping.
Thanks, all. I'll stay through this year. I'll work it out.
You've got friends, man.
Well, let me know if you need anything.
So right now we don't have a rep coming back for the OP.
That is the vacancy we have.
That's the opening.
Okay. So it's critical to make sure and remind members in that chapter that April 1st, their chapter will become inactive if they do not have a chapter rep.
Yeah.
That means they will not receive any fund. They will not receive any swag. that all that stuff stops for their chapter until they can get a new chapter rep, and then they have to be voted back in to become active again.
So, Lori, hopefully you can beat the trees over there. I think M-Nerve would be great.
He said no to it. I've talked to him.
I know, but I think
I'll reach out to some more people.
But if the thumb screws get turned a little bit and say, look, there's no one to represent you guys come April 1st, bad things are going to happen, that somebody might step up and go, okay.
Well, I noticed he's hosting an event.
Or disc golf. What about disc golf Birdie?
She said no too, but I mean, I'll talk to him again, and I'll let him know what's going on.
There's active people over there in that chapter, so it's kind of like, and they're putting on events. How about Black Hawkager? Lackey.
Yeah.
Have you breached the subject with him?
I have not with him.
And
I'm not going to see him
I'm
Saturday.
See him on Saturday. I could ask him.
Are you going to see him Saturday?
I am.
I'm going to J Car's community celebration.
Yeah, he's picking up a grill from us on Saturday.
Awesome. Well, tell him there's a need.
Okay.
Strings attached to the grill.
that are attached to the grill. If you want this grill,
you can only have this grill if.
All right. So
the other thing to do is if you can't find somebody in the chapter, then you have a member in the chapter do an out of chapter nomination.
Yep, that's true. We can do that too.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, it's not like they don't have. I mean, there's active caches over there, so I don't know. I don't know why they couldn't find somebody locally there. But if worst came, push came to shove, if somebody in Tacoma wanted to be the OP rep, and somebody from the OP nominated them, then that would work too. But it's always better when the rep is there locally,
Yeah.
And it's not like there's no cashers in Bremerton, Silverdale, Swim, Port Angeles, Port Orchard. There's cashers there. And they're active, so why not? So we'll get this figured out, I hope. I really would hate to see the OP go insolvent, and that could potentially happen. Okay. Can we check off elections and move on? I think we should. All right, so the 20th anniversary Geotour is my next item. So as I told everybody, I did sign the contract with Mr. Jeffrey, so we are a go for the Geotour. Yes, among all the other fun stuff we're doing. So I am going to start working on that, and that's going to be quite the endeavor. I'm actually going to enlist Mark, hopefully, and I've talked a little bit to him about what I need and where we're going with it, but he's at this point he's willing to assist, so I'm going to hit him up on some of the artwork related things, some of which we already have the artwork, so I think we're just going to run with that theme of the trees and the deep roots. I think that's a good marketing piece of work that we can use on the Geotour. What we're going to ultimately need to do is come up with boilerplates for all of the 20 caches in each of the chapters. And this is where we really need an OP chapter rep, because we're going to have 20 Geotour caches that are going to be in that person's jurisdiction. And my envision would be to have each of you chapter reps be point person for those 20 caches, as well as the lab adventures that you will be getting as well as part of the, even though they're not really part of the Geotour, but they're sort of our gift to the community that I was able to finagle with Jeff to as a birthday gift. So we're going to need to come up with some boilerplate stuff. We're going to need to come up with some sort of guidelines of how we want to do the the caches. I do not expect the chapter reps in any way, shape, or form to put all 20 of them out. I would hope that you could involve your constituents in your chapters to step up and pitch in and put some out. I think the idea of the tour would be to get out and see the state, just like the the State Park Centennial Tour.
Yeah.
We want to do something along kind of those lines where we put caches out in some interesting areas in each chapter. And I know you guys have got some really cool, weird, odd places that kind of need a cache. And it would be great for a Geotour cache to be placed. So we're going to need to be working on that. I kind of want to have at least a couple of folks that I don't think I need a huge team necessarily, but just a couple of people that would be willing to, pitch in and help out organizing this. And I see Lori's got her hand up. So go ahead, Lori.
Because I had a question.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I had to step away, so I kind of didn't catch all of this.
Okay.
I walked back and you said 20 caches per chapter and 20 adventures per chapter.
So there's going to be, I think we're going to do this, and I have to touch back with Jeff on this, but I think it was going to be 2 10-spot geo or adventures for each chapter. Again, the theme of 20. The theme of 20. So two 10 stage adventure credits for each chapter. And those can be put out by the rep. You can do whatever you want. It's not going to be part of the Geotour. This will be outside, but it would be part of the 20th celebration, the 20th anniversary celebration. And you guys can theme them however you want.
So the other question I had with that is the 20 caches, are we going to be uniformed? Like we're all going to put the same kind of container out, or,
Yeah, that was kind of my envision on that. We wouldn't necessarily want to use stamps. I think using stamps in Geotours tend to be a bigger problem because they disappear. Kids take them or they get lost or damaged or whatever. Going with the code words, I think. I mean, Annette, you've got a lot of history with Geotours, so I think the code words tend to work better than stamps. So in theory, we could probably do any size container. That's where I kind of want to fall back on Annette's experience, because she's hosted at least one Geotour.
Yeah, one Geotour, and then plus those 3 Auburn adventures.
Right.
Were my internship training.
So what do you think about, having the same container? I think in some ways that kind of does hurt those that want to put out some, let's use Goblin Dust for instance, and if he decides he wants to help out the OP and do a really cool gadget cache, well, and I think about that one that Notex did for the Auburn one.
Yeah.
The spoons, which was a really fantastic geocache.
You can have 1 or 2 per area that are different. And like I used a punch for those because those were some unique items rather than just a code word.
Mm-hmm.
That way, that really proves that they did that unique item.
So they would
just get the word from somebody.
Right, versus going in and actually taking a hole punch or whatever the punch is and punch their passport.
Right.
Which is kind of a neat idea too, as long as the punches don't disappear.
Yeah. See, in Tri-Cities, we run into that too. So code words usually get copied. People just copy your passports. The punches either break, they wear out, they get stolen. So one of the things we've actually started doing with our last physical cache that where we had a bunch of the physicals out there was moving to the rubbings. So we would actually 3D print the different logos And then that way, when they would take their passport out, they would actually rub the logo at the different cache locations. So that way, it's something that was unique that couldn't be copied, and it's physically attached. It can't be removed. Just epoxy it onto whatever the cache was.
Oh, that's a great idea. I like that. Because then that would work on pretty much just about any size container.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I like that idea better than the code words because then you have to.
I think
So
I
each-
remember doing that one year.
So each individual cache would have a different kind of rubbing.
Mm-hmm.
So 20 caches for each area
Yeah, for
would
each
have
chapter.
20 different rubbings.
Yeah, so we need to come up with 140 different
Couldn't each
logos
chapter
or-
repeat the same one and it only have 20 and we have all the identical same 20?
I mean, the same rubbings?
No,
Mm.
that wouldn't work.
Because if people caught on and they like went over to Spokane and did one, they're like, oh, well, this just looks like the one in Edmonds, or
Right.
they could cheat.
Yeah, so we would need to come up with. I mean, that's a lot of different logos,
Is
that we
that
would use for.
how
logos.
easy is that to do, Patrick? Do you know? I mean, you know.
I mean, it really comes down to if you pick simple clip art, or you can find it. There's lots of different ways to do it. We even had some people that went out and got like cookie cutter, or not cookie cutter, but like you remember like the old cookie making sets where you would squeeze out the cookies.
Oh yes.
So they just had the round cookie discs, and they attached those to the caches, and so each one had a different like cookie pattern.
Oh, like the cookie stamps, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
No, like where you actually squeeze like the dough through.
I don't remember that, but
Yeah, I know what he's talking about. It's like a pastry. Actually, Vicky would know this because this is in her area. But we're talking to like
A cookie press. It's
Yeah.
like you squeeze through.
Your Play-Doh factory.
Yeah, Play-Doh factory.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
still lost, but okay. So it just seems. I mean, I know one person with a 3D printer in my area, but I don't. That's a little
So yeah, so
overwhelming.
if you were to take, a simple black and white clip art, and then you take that clip art and you import that into whatever 3D, software you have, you can basically emboss those lines in your clip art and then turn that into a 3D image. And then when you print that basically creates all the channels, or like, basically like lines in the printing, where
And then you would just rub.
And you just
And
take a pen.
rub
Just,
over
yeah.
Can we
Okay,
have
so
someone in charge of that? Because I have no way to print a 3D print.
No, I know what we would do. I would not put this on the chapter reps.
Oh, okay.
No.
I'm all stressed out too, Vicky.
No.
I'm like,
No.
I got no way to do that.
No, you guys wouldn't have to worry about. My vision is we would provide you with the containers, with the lids and the logo or the clip art or whatever that's already attached. So all you got to do is just hide them, or enlist locals in your area to hide them, and so you wouldn't necessarily have to do all that bit of it.
I like that idea a lot, as long as I don't.
And I'm thinking may hit second one of three up. I know he has a 3D printer because he's been going crazy putting out Star Wars themed 3D printed cache containers all around Federal Way and Tacoma.
He's also recovering from knee surgery, so.
He has recovered.
Yeah,
He has
I saw him
recovered.
on Sunday, and he's like, "Yeah, works great." And he's like,
So I'm thinking, we might, give him a little money if he would be willing to.
"Oh, he would be."
Print 140 of those things, probably even more, because we potentially would need extras. So anyway, I love that idea, Patrick. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
It keeps the game honest, shall we say?
No one cheats in geocaching. What are you talking about?
No, why would they? It's a game, right?
You can play it however you want.
That's right. So anyway, if anybody wants to assist with the planning. There's a good way of putting it. I know I'm kind of like looking at Annette when I say that. Annette's like me.
Because of her vast experience. You've already been through the I can't think of the word. I'll help too.
You've been through the ringer.
Yeah.
Just no matter what stage she'll be in.
I do know the drill.
You know the drill, and you can remind me because I've went through it the first time with Auburn. So I just know there's a lot, and Mark has got to play a crucial role in this because doing up those advertising banners, yeah, I had a hell of a time doing them because there's certain parameters they have to be in, and it's just there's a lot that goes into it, and then there's the passport that's got to be designed, and and I think we're probably going to need to have another page on our website for it too, somewhere. That's something I'm going to have to work on too, I think. So anyway, there's a lot that goes into it.
And what is the deadline for setting the physical caches, and what is the deadline for the
Ventures?
ALs?
Well, that we need to talk about. I mean, I'm envisioning trying. I would love to get this up and running before the summer. That's a tall order. But that means getting the coin done and getting that minted, and that's going to be yet another expense that we'll get to vote on here.
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't be too expensive, just for the fact that we're going to basically reuse the same art that we're putting in on everything else that we've talked about tonight. The only thing is we would have to change some coloring on some stuff on the coins, but I do, and there's something I want to talk to Antoine about too. Something that maybe REI might be able to partner with us on. So that's something else I need to tap into. And we may have an avenue there potentially with REI. It's something I definitely need. I was hoping Antoine would be here so we could talk about it, but
because
I invited him, but he didn't. He's not here, obviously. So we've got some ideas. We got some things in the hopper. And really to dovetail into that, and I'm skipping over Valley Cities, but Annette kind of already talked about Valley Cities for the most part.
And I plan on trying to launch it the last weekend in July. So I'm going to launch it before the people get in town for the anniversary event. And I think that'll draw a whole bunch of people.
We're going to have multiple Geotours kicking off around the same time. Yeehaw. Okay, so that was a brief update on that one. So sliding down the new business so quickly, the 20th anniversary event, and I've talked a little bit about that, but we're definitely going to have one. I'm thinking of doing it the same place we had the 10th anniversary. That was a pretty good venue. I would need to reach out to them, and I didn't have a date in mind.
What's the venue?
It's the Kennydale Memorial Hall. It's right the exit off 405 that's right on top of Kennydale Hill. It's maybe a mile or two max from that exit. But
we've had some events there.
We've had some events there. It's got a stage. It's got a really big kitchen with a couple of windows so you can do a potluck. For any of you that were here in 2012 that were at that event, it worked great. It worked great.
Good to me.
We have a huge stage. We had all of the original founding members sitting on stage, and it was great. And I've already talked to a couple of those original members already. I've spoke with one of them just today, and got his confirmation that he and the missus will be there. And I've already talked to another lackey who was a founding member over in the IE area. He also is going to be there. In fact, he said, come hell or high water, he will be there. So I've got 3. The original founding.
How many founding members do we have?
Let me go to the website.
I mean, if you don't know, that's
remember.
fine.
It was about 12 or 14.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I've got the list up here. I think there was more than what we have now, to be honest. I think there's a lot of people in this picture. And hopefully they're all still around here. I think some of them are. Others I'm not so sure about. I know Seth's still around. I don't know about some of these other folks. I don't even know them. But anyway, we'll try to arrange to get them to reprise their positions and get on the stage 10 years later. So it should be a lot of fun. And again, it'd be an opportunity to hand out coins while we're doing it. And
Yeah.
It'll just be a great get together for sure. So anyway, I was going to look
Is
up.
that going to be the weekend of the 20th anniversary, or is that going to be?
No, it's not,
Or
because it's going to have to
Yeah.
be after.
That makes a lot of sense. I was just
Because it was September 8th. So September 10th is the APE event.
so September 8th is a Thursday.
So we really can't. I mean, it would make sense to do it September 10th. But we got the APE going. September 3rd would be the weekend before. That's Labor Day weekend, so I don't think we really want to hold this event when people are most likely not going to be in town or going to be out having one last hurrah for the summer. So I'm thinking the 17th, which would be the week after the APE event, that we hold this event. I mean, that's really that or the 24th, but I don't want to get too far down.
And when is the Canada event?
Or in August.
The Geo Woodstock?
It's the week after
HQ. Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
August 20th.
I need to get my act together and fill out a calendar.
But they're all in August, so we'll be fine in September for this.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm kind of looking at the 17th, which is a Saturday, September 17th.
That sounds good.
That gives us time to reserve the place, which will have to come out of the. Nah, you know what? I was gonna say it should come out of the Puget Sound chapter budget, but maybe not.
But isn't it just? It's for the whole WSGA, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do we split it with all chapters?
No, I think we just take it out of our funds. It shouldn't be assigned to any chapter. It's our big event. I mean, now if the chapters want to do their own little mini celebration on the 8th, that's up to you guys. But we'll have.
What is are we against doing it the same, like the day after APE? I mean, it'd be easier for some of us to travel for like 2 events in one weekend than 2 different weekends back to back, because we're probably gonna have to pick one or the other. We're not gonna be able to come every weekend,
Well, so you're talking about doing it on September 11th.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
I hear you, because you're traveling, and that would go for anybody that's having to make the trek, and that includes the folks over on the east side too, and having to come.
We might get more members to come to both.
Yeah.
That way, all the members together for APE and that. It's just kind of an idea.
Well, I mean,
could it be a Friday night event to kick off Saturday's event?
Well, if people are traveling from Eastern Washington on Friday, they may not make an event.
Yeah.
But this is a weird, and I don't want to add more to my plate, but what if we had a camp out on Saturday night? But not everybody camps, so.
That's putting
a great idea.
that's putting a lot on one weekend. But yeah,
Right.
I get what you're saying. People are going to already come here for the
People
ape.
are going to be there. All the like everybody who's planning on like coming to Ape or this event, like if they were all traveling on one weekend, I could see them. Like we would come up, I think, camp overnight, stay the 2 days. It would be much easier for us to fit, or other people to fit it in one travel day.
Well, let me put it to our friends in the East. I mean, would you guys be up for doing a weekend over here and having back-to-back events?
I was going to ask about the chapters possibly hosting their own events. Because I know for the 10-year anniversary, I know we had like 5 events on one day over here in the Spokane area.
Yeah.
And we'd go from event to event to event. They were like spaced an hour and a half apart or something like that, different locations.
I mean, I don't know why not.
Well,
I mean, again,
would that be called event stacking now, as they talk?
Yeah. Well, it depends on how far apart it is. I don't remember I don't remember how far apart they have to be.
It's how far apart and the timing of the events.
So if you alternate one in Washington, one in Idaho, come back to Washington, another one in Idaho.
Oh my gosh.
Working the I-90, baby. Coeur d'Alene one, Spokane
Jerry, are
Valley.
you saying that maybe each chapter just hosts one instead of one big one?
I think that would get better attendance, and it would also ensure that people go to the APE event. I mean, a lot of people don't go to the APE now because they've, been there, done that, don't need to do it again. It's kind of lost its oomph for a lot of locals, but I think if each chapter hosts an event, they would probably get pretty good attendance because a lot of people don't like making the drive over to that part of the state. Just for time-wise, gas prices, depending on what they're going to be like come September.
Well, isn't this the last? Isn't this going to be the last APE event?
Well, we've never really talked about calling it quits.
That's just a rumor I've heard. I don't know. And granted, you can get the APE whenever you want. You don't have to go to the event to get it, but.
We've kept it going all these years. That's going to be that should be a topic that we have down the road.
Okay.
Whether or not we in that, I mean, from an organization standpoint, that's sort of our signature event. Now,
it's
whether
the reason we exist. No.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I'm kidding.
But it is a signature event, that's for sure. Now, whether or not we take that event and morph it into something different, I mean, that's a whole nother topic. But
so is the suggestion either we do a big event on Sunday or every chapter rep holds their own?
I kind of think we're obligated to do a big event. I mean, we've done that before. Again, the reps can do whatever they want. I'm not saying you can't. It's your chapter. If you want to do what Jerry's talking about, or if you want to do your own thing, if you want to do an event on Saturday the 8th, or even, over Labor Day weekend, go for it. I mean, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying that I think as an organization, we should at least have our own formal event.
What if the WSGA has an event on Sunday the 11th for all that want to attend, coinciding with the APE, and for any chapter rep or all chapter reps, we host our own event another time. I don't know if that's overkill. I'm just trying to, because if people in the east side of the state are not wanting to come over, I can totally see that argument.
Yeah, I especially with gas prices the way they are.
I mean, I live here, so I'm fine with it being the day after, but I live here, so.
Right.
And you're 11th, right?
What was that, Patrick?
And you're talking September 11th?
Right.
Because that's also the Memorial Day. That's when a lot of people go to the memorials.
Well, and it's
9/11.
Labor Day.
Is it? No.
No,
no.
he's talking
Labor Day
9/11.
is
He's talking.
first
He's talking
weekend
September
in
11th.
September. So, but if the APE event is over, is it going to be over early in the afternoon like it used to be?
Yeah, it's going to be done by 2:00. It's
Then-
10 to 2 with cleanup afterwards.
Yeah. So what are you
So,
thinking, Annette? Having it the same day of the
They-
ape?
I was going to say, would it be unreasonable? Would we be too wiped out if we did something that night?
The only thing is, there's setup that's going to have to be done for the event at the hall for sure. I mean, we'd have to put all those tables up, get the stage
Yeah.
set up. We'd have. I mean, there's
How
and then obviously we're going to be spreading ourselves thin as
Yeah, I know that.
volunteers go. Not to mention the wipeout part, sure. Now you're talking about having the event, up at the pass and then turning around going all the way to north side of Renton, the Kennydale area for the event. I mean, it doesn't have to be necessarily held there. I'm just suggesting
Why not
that
find
because
something in like Issaquah?
if you wanted to have it Friday night or Saturday after the ape, is that what you're saying, Lori?
Yeah.
I mean,
don't know.
that's a question we can pose to our Issaquah residents, both of which didn't make the event today or the meeting. But
Well, and how do the eastern side of the state people feel about that too? I mean, it's if they come if there's an event, if there's ape and then there's another event in the evening, they're probably going to have to stay over or it's a really late drive back. So whether
But
we have
some
it
of
on Saturday or Sunday.
But some of them would have stayed over anyway, most likely. I mean, I'll put you back to you, Jerry and Jacob and Patrick and Gene. I mean, when you guys come over for the ape, you don't just come over for the day. Don't you usually just
I do.
stay the night?
Yeah, we
I come over for the day.
Do you?
drive over and drive
We've
back.
done that before in this area too.
What was
Yeah,
that, Jacob?
Yeah, it's been the same way. It's an out and back if it's a day thing.
So this
So
would
we're-
just make them stay overnight then.
Yeah.
If we end up having the celebration, the 20th celebration event right after ape,
Well, it would be a few hours after. It would be at least 4 hours.
Yeah.
6 or 7 o'clock. What time were you thinking, Chris?
it'd be because I was thinking we'd have like a potluck evening kind of thing where people would, just like we did last time, people would bring food in. We'd have some like a itinerary of doing introductions and all that stuff. So it would be an evening. I think we did it several hours last time. But it was by itself. The ape had already been come and gone because that was in August.
Yeah.
So we made it a late afternoon, like 4-ish, and went to like 8. We made it an all evening kind of thing. We wouldn't necessarily have to do that this time. But we did there was a lot of announcements that we did. Of course, we had some of the original board members come up and talk about the early days, which was pretty cool. It was a thing that we did. It was an event. It wasn't just a typical it wasn't like a pizza event.
Is there any reason we couldn't push it back another month and just do it in October so we have one big event every month? And then that gives us more time to put the caches out and more time for people to find them?
Well, I mean, it's
The 20th anniversary is going on for ever.
well. Look at what geocaching's done.
I mean,
pushing
I'm
theirs out
totally,
2 years,
I'm
but
fine with that suggestion.
having it in October and having it a belated. There's nothing to say we couldn't do that either. I was just looking at September because that was the month. And Jacob, from the standpoint of launching all of our merch related to the 20th anniversary, it's nice to have an event that we can sell merch. Which another thing we did was we had merchandise. We had 20th or 10th anniversary T-shirts we sold, which we had at the event. So we took advantage of that time frame, that September in 2012, and we sold stuff. We sold a lot of merch at that event, as well as the potluck, and as well as having all the original members. I mean, it was a thing. It was a lot of fun, and a lot of people showed up. I mean, there were people that we hadn't seen caching in a while even show up for it. So it was, we were striking the iron while it was really hot. Having it in October, I mean, we could have it on September 24th, and not the week after the Ape. I mean, there's nothing to say. I just picked that day because it was right. It was the weekend after.
A Georgia State squad, scratching my head, shocked that they're a 16 seed. I don't really see that. And so we know we're in for, just like you are all the time, the NCAA tournament's going to be a really, really tough, hard-fought game, and we're going to have to play very good.
Who is talking?
What's he?
Chanel, USA Today. Hi, Mark.
Someone's got their TV or radio on there.
Highlight from the season.
That's me.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right. I was like, who's that talking? All right. So I don't know. We can push it towards the end of September. Make it the 24th. So you're not doing back-to-back weekends up here.
Do we want to table it and come back to it in May?
Yeah, we can, because we don't have to make that decision today. We really don't. I just want to make sure that we have time to reserve the place and all of that. So I don't want to wait too far down the road. So if we're not, we'll shelve it for May, and we'll chat about it then. So I'll just make a note. Shelved until May. Okay. That's kind of the itinerary for this evening. Chris, did we have anybody in YouTube land?
No.
Okay.
No questions in YouTube land.
Okay. Well, that clears that. So really, May 18th is our next meeting. May 18th at 7. Does anybody have anything else to mention, chat, comment? Yes, Vicky, I saw your hand first.
I was just curious. I know that for the 20th anniversary, the HQ one, you had said about you guys were going to do a beer garden, and then that was scrapped and stuff, and then the shirts and stuff will be sold there. Are we going to have a table there at HQ's event?
That is a great question. I don't know that we are.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I could have asked Brian, and I still can.
I thought Jacob said something about selling the shirts and stuff, but he might have been talking about the WSGA 20th anniversary and not the HQ one.
Yeah, so that's at all of our events, but that was actually one of Mark's emails too, whether we're going to have to start preparing stuff to be at their event too. I want to know who's contacting them.
Well, at this point, I don't think they're giving us.
To wrap up.
I don't think they're giving us a booth or anything there. I don't believe, and I haven't heard from them about their big soiree. So I don't know. I don't think so.
But the beer garden's scrapped, right? We're not doing that.
We're not doing that. No, we passed on that quite a while ago. Actually, there was just no way we could put it together, especially with the cost.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, so we're off that. We were gonna. The idea was we're gonna focus on the Ape event because we figured it was gonna be insane. And look where that's taken us. We're kicking it out until September instead of August, which I think is the right move. So anything else from anybody?
Yeah, I did have one thing I wanted to bring up quick is I know these meetings tend to go very late for us.
It's 9:30.
It's being 2.5 hours. Is there any consideration going forward that we might split the meetings and do a second meeting in alternating months for let's just call it the 4 executives to handle a lot of the business that relates to the funds and getting the ideas out there and all of that, and then only doing these meetings as a type of voting meeting and to pass along the information so that we can keep them shorter and get a lot of that stuff in emails every month.
You know, we've never really looked at that. I don't think there's anything in the bylaws that say we have to have a meeting at X number of, period of time. I think it's always been every other month, and I think that was probably something that some previous board way back when decided. And ultimately, I think it's kind of up to the board, and it's always been geared on availability.
It's changed over time. At one time, they were actually doing like monthly meetings. It just depends on how much is going on.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too. And stretching it every other month, it does kind of pack up an agenda. Now, if we were doing it every month, then we'd probably have shorter meetings because we have less to talk about. The problem is that's every month we're doing, and then we start tapping into people's, time. And some people weren't really interested in giving up a night a month, whereas every other. But there's nothing to say, Jacob, that the executive committee could not hold one.
That's kind of what I'm bringing up, because just to get a lot of those details figured out month to month and be able to put an email out every month asking for the chapter reps to weigh in on them, provide any extra details to shorten these meetings for the bi-monthly ones. But obviously, if we schedule the bi-monthly ones like we have, those would obviously be the voting meetings where everybody comes to. But there'd be no reason why any of the chapter reps couldn't come to that executive meeting or sit in on that. I'm just saying, I guess, clear some of the clutter of all of the conversations that we have to have every other month and keep us on track a little bit better.
Well, let me put it to the executive committee members here and see what they have to say. So what do you guys think? Lori, Annette, would you guys be willing to have a meeting every month, essentially? And the off months that we would not have a full board meeting, these would be shorter, and we obviously wouldn't have a huge agenda. We would just have a small list of things that we would do, and we wouldn't necessarily be voting on anything, obviously, because we need the full board for that. So in theory, I'm thinking maybe an hour. What do you think, Jacob? An hour, maybe? Hour and a half max?
I think that would cut down both meetings to an hour.
Okay.
Is the way I'm saying it. And then the other part of that too is, I know you guys are doing a lot in the Geo Cafe and getting a lot of information there. That would be a much better meeting to discuss all that information, and I guess just pass it up kind of a chain to get it to the general meeting, and it only goes to the general meeting if it's voting or a report, and then that gives us more time to assemble more information for the reports. People can read it ahead of time. And then all it is if there's any objection or any comment ahead of a vote, we vote and we're done.
Okay. Well, so what do you ladies think?
I'm game.
My thought is we keep it basically this, so it doesn't interfere with other things. If we kept them on Wednesdays, third Wednesday, just basically get into routine. Third Wednesday of every month. There's a WSGA board meeting, whether it's the full board or if it's just the executive committee. We'll set the same time so you don't have to try to figure out what time the meeting is. We'll keep it simple. So 7 o'clock, third Wednesday every month. 1 month it's the full board. 1 month it's the executive committee only. If the rest of the members want to sit in, by all means they can. What do you guys think?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, because me, I'd be able to do that, and then I'm not having to start merchandise at almost 10 o'clock tonight. So
okay. All right. Well, I'll set the Zoom up for you guys and send the invite out. and we'll just plan on it again. So
So the general meeting for all the voting would happen every other month?
right. That would we keep
Okay.
that routine as it is.
That won't change. So what I'm saying is a lot of this becomes budget items and event planning and managing the website and things like that. And that's, anybody can come to that, obviously, but I guess it becomes more of a brainstorming meeting amongst the people that have to put those into reports and things.
So even months that have even numbers is the executive.
Yeah.
Months with odd numbers is the whole shebang.
There you go.
Yep.
Oh, I love
And the third Wednesday of the
third
month.
Wednesday at 7:00. So that would mean the executive committee would meet on April 20th at 7, which is the third Wednesday.
Oh,
That sounds good to me.
All right, I will. What I'll do is I'll send. I'll send the Zoom invite to everybody, but I'll make it clear that it's so not to confuse people. It'll say executive committee meeting, so you know it's not the full board. What a cool little cat you have there,
okay.
Karen.
So odd months are going to be what? Because I redid my notes.
The odd is full board, even is executive committee.
Okay.
Easy enough, and I'll make it clear when I send the invite out that you know which one it is. Just, and again, I want anybody that wants to join can join. It's not going to be a members only club kind of nonsense. It'll be open. But I like Jacob's idea because we can pound out some stuff. We can make notes and be ready for the full board meeting the following month. That gives us time to work on action plans and stuff that we want to do. So I like that.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Anything else? If not, I say we wrap this up and adjourn. What? You're talking, Annette, and I can't hear you.
Annette, you're muted.
So move, adjourn.
Adjourn before she can. Just cut her off.
Okay, this is not agenda wise. This is just a general question. Dick, come here a second so you can explain what it is.
He's volunteering for what position? Oh, treasurer or secretary? He's doing secretary, right?
No, he's going to be the OP rep.
From Nevada?
From Nevada. Hey, you can vote. Hey, Lori, you can vote him in. You can nominate him.
I got an email from Jessica Randall from Groundspeak. Does anybody know who that is?
Jessica. That name is not sounding familiar.
Let me walk over. Hang on a minute. Let me walk over to my other machine.
That does not sound familiar. I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream at this point.
Yeah.